You're live. Okay, we might be live. Well, coming at you a day early as usual because I don't know. I always think if I put a video on Thursday, I'll get more viewers on Friday, and it never really happens. Okay, so also, rather than start with boots, we're going to start with the non-boot footwear. So, spoiler alert for those of you who, all one of you who watched my previous video about the outfit reset 3 days ago or whatever. I think YouTube lies about the days. It might have been 4 days ago. Episode number 346. Then you will already have seen me discuss the other pair of shoes. But I wore these like once or twice, so they count, even though they're not boots. And they're not totally worn out yet. But I don't know if I'm going to put them away for summer yet either, because they are, I don't know, green, but still might be something useful when I need to just grab a pair of sneakers. So these are the LL Bean Trail Eco Warrior ones or whatever. And the right one is a little bit worn in the outsole more than the left. And the tops are a little bit worn, and that's about it. So I'm diving right in, right? I mean, I figure the shorter I make this video, the more likely you're to go back and watch the other ones earlier in the series if you're interested in other boots, because I only wore, again, 3 pairs of boots in the last 2 weeks. It wasn't like super boot week time and all that. But still, again, before we get to the boots, now the boat shoes that I had been wearing, and they do have kind of sneaker bottoms that you can see have barely any wear on them and all, but they had been sitting in the closet, you know, fair enough for a couple years probably already. So the one started to delam a bit, and this was the one that I noticed after. The other one delaminated worse, which I'll show you in a minute. Like this one, the heel is still like mostly on there. It's starting to go a little bit though. The laces were still good. I was a little worried about, you know, breaking one of these and not having some kind of backup, because they're not quite where you could wear them without laces really and make them into slip-ons. You'd still need something to kind of gather that in, but not anything too extreme. But this one, yeah, the whole operation is just kind of coming apart, and I could get them glued maybe, you know, or even have a cobbler do it to make sure it was done right. But I have so many other pairs of shoes to wear in the meantime that, you know, these were kind of a spring color shoe for me anyway, more than a summer with the green, although the green faded quite a bit in, excuse me, in no time, it seems like. But yeah, like this just totally, why will it do it for me at the angle, but not, you know, yeah, okay, so there you go. So yeah, just totally coming unglued, and it needs to be pressed. Like, I don't know if you could just hold it for that long and get it to conform where it wants to flatten out and not, you know, stick to the heel of the shoe and that sort of thing. And it's got this fake stitch, I assume, going on. I don't know that that's actually holding anything together. In fact, I would, yeah, judging from what we're seeing here, it's definitely not holding anything. So maybe I could get them stitched for real somehow and have that be not an issue. But I had other shoes, like I said, but then when the other shoes, if they fail too, I didn't necessarily want to get them all fixed at the same time, because then I might end up not wearing one pair and end up having to refix them twice, as it were, rather than just once. So put those off for now and see how it goes. Okay, so obviously, like I said, at the first outset way back when in video, I don't even know what number now. Let me get into this boot playlist. The hour-long one. Why do I seem like I have an extra one in here somewhere? Oh, because that's an unboxing video, not a challenge video. Okay. Yeah, episode 328. I had done the original list in that video. I didn't bother to repost it much since, you know, because the list obviously changed with the weather. I didn't end up using any of the waterproof stuff. Like, I think I wore one pair of the Keen boots or something once way back when. And it wasn't even raining. I put them on like after the rain had already stopped or some stupid thing. You know, yada, yada, yada. So I never, you know. So in this episode, same as the last episode, I put just the current list of ones that I was going to get to. I didn't get to the Oliver CABELL boot again. That was a couple months ago that I wore those, or a month ago or something that I last wore those. Thursday, Captain Capto, I stopped wearing those a couple weeks ago. The RG Response Gear Tactical, yes, I wore those again. Spoiler alert, that's the ones I was wearing like an hour ago. NEIGH Mahogany Packer Western, didn't wear those at all. Oak Street Camp Mock, I said I was putting them in the rotation, and they kind of got in the rotation for a little bit, but then they got neglected the last 3 or 4 weeks still. But they're definitely ones I will wear in the summer going forward. The SG CHUKKA Tan Desert Sportsman's Guide boots. Yeah, another boot that I planned to wear in the summer that didn't quite make it into this challenge. I mean, it's warm enough to wear them now or tomorrow if I really wanted to, but not really necessary because I haven't switched over to the khaki outfits yet much. Then the Thorogood 8-inch Moctoder with the wedge outsole, non-safety. Yeah, I keep meaning to wear those. They're in a box by my guitar, and they don't get out of the box because I wasn't wearing taller boots. But then these are technically my hiking boots. But then when I went hiking, I didn't wear them. I wore instead the white lace-to-toe boots, which I had these packed up, and then I decided to hose them off again to get off the dust and the any residual poison oak that might be on them. So we'll talk about those last, I guess. They show the most wear and tear, though, because I bought them used, not because I wore them a ton in the last 2 weeks, because I wore them like once in the last 2 weeks. I wore these more in the last 2 weeks. So yeah. But do they show a ton of wear? No, because they're nylon zip boots and they look about the same as they did in the last video 2 weeks ago, when I hadn't worn them as much, but like still they're, you know, not worn out from one day of okay, I didn't wear them hiking. I wore the other ones hiking. So from a couple days of non-hiking, they're not dirty. They're not full of poison oak. They're just sweaty, slightly, if at all, from, you know, moderate use. But yeah, so not anything. I think these came from Big Five, not anything, you know, too off the beaten path. You can get higher quality models of similar things, I'm sure, if you're looking for them. Although how much higher quality, I don't know. You know, more money for a, you know, a pair of Danners or something, but or I have some Converse and Reebok ones that I haven't even worn yet, because I hadn't hardly used these yet. I think that some of the Converse ones were the non-insulated ones, so they were a lighter weight fabric and all that kind of thing. And so I don't know if they're still available. I think I got those from Sportsman's Guide. There's a little bit of the leather kind of damaged there. I don't know how long that's been like that. I just noticed it now. But there's no, there's only eyelets. There's no other kind of hardware. You know, the nylon padding is not super thick, but it is a little bit warmer-ish, but not like too overwhelming, although it is definitely going to be warm this week. So I could wear the regular jungle boot style ones and be a little more comfortable, I guess. I don't know how much more ankle support this actually offers, but you can feel it. And of course, as I talk about repeatedly, I'm always worried about these zippers failing when I'm actually on a trail, because that's a nuisance that can happen. And there's the Velcro tab that holds it together a little bit. Yay, but it's not super essential because mostly you're using the tab after you've already zipped up the boot. So it's only when the zipper fails that you kind of really need the Velcro tab. And then it's still not really offering any actual support. It's just keeping it from flopping, which would actually be more useful, because if it flops, then you know it's unzipped, right? For however long it's going to stay zipped. So kind of a useless feature that's on there. And of course the laces, holding up decent. These are the ones that just came with it, and if they last almost as long as the boots, they've pretty much done their job. Because a lot of times you'll end up with laces that are way too long, and these are a little bit long. They're not terrible. I guess I should show both. The outsole is not showing very much wear yet at all. A tiny bit, again, in the back. At the heel, you can see a little bit because I've been walking on, again, asphalt more than dirt. So which one was I just showing? I was showing the right one. So the left one, also a little bit of, I don't even know if this is real leather, but I think I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's just a coated leather, not a synthetic. I could be wrong. There's a spot where it's kind of going on this boot. So I'm not sure, but it hasn't been reacting completely the way the Payless shoes with the fake leather did. And of course, I don't have any separation here, even after a couple of years of sitting in closets. Unlike the LL Bean, the glue is still holding up pretty reasonably well. So for the price, no real complaints. But again, if I was actually serving in the military, I don't know if you'd want a steel toe or this or that, yada, yada, yada. But for casual use, my biggest issue with it is just the arch support, which is why I wore those hiking instead. Whereas wearing these the day after is kind of fine. Like, okay, my foot can use a break from carrying all that extra leather, and I'm not walking on terrain, and I'm not going too far. They're not totally flat, but maybe that's partly because I've worn them a bit, and so the toes are kind of pressed down, and so you can feel a bit of an arch more than some of the other shoes, but it's definitely not the same as a Pacific Northwest heavy duty leather stack experience under your ball of your foot or whatever. So yeah, all in all, decent for the price. Again, these are a couple years old though. What quality they're offering now, I don't know how they've changed them. I said last, but I guess not last. I guess we'll jump to those and then do the Thursday boots last, because we know the Thursday boots are last, because it's always Thursday boots with this channel. Not really, but so yeah, again, the false tongues doing their job, and the gusseted thing is doing its job, and it's got mostly speed hooks instead of eyelets, which they're not too big, but they're like slightly on the verge, so I really have to pull them tight, and I'm always like kind of worried that it's not going to have quite enough there. And I started off with them kind of loose and then had to kind of pull them tighter, kind of thing. And so yeah, the speed hooks worked okay for doing that, without having to relace the whole thing. But if you're cinching them up, usually you don't have to unlace them anyway. Whereas with the speed hooks, I did still have to unlace the one. It's just faster to relace it, I guess. Oops, I still got a couple of pebbles in here. If I can get those out. They almost look like teeth. So yeah, picked up a couple pebbles. Again, this is not water from any previous excursion. That's just from the hose. The general overall condition being already, like I said, what it was, this faded gray area and stuff, it came that way because pre-loved. They don't stay up. They don't support as much in here because they're already kind of thrashed. So that's the one thing I didn't like, is it's not It's not super rigid in here, where most people want their boots broken in. They're a little past the part of broken in, where I guess the previous owner didn't like it that much anymore either. But the fit overall is fine, even though it's technically a half size too big for me. I don't know if the fire rating is still good. I'm not worried about it. Although one guy did ask me if I was on a fire crew. Usually I get asked if I'm a ranger. That he said, no, your boots. Yep, these are definitely fire service boots. And with the Vibram outsoles and the black one, but it really not cushiony here. So what I'm getting in the arch support, back in here, I'm getting a lot more. My feet hurting at the end of the day, especially a long kind of day, even if a good chunk of it was in the car. Comparatively to, if I was backpacking or something. Still, not what I'm used to, even with other boots. Definitely was feeling that. And of course, these, I did add the gel insoles on these, but they're really smashed down here. This is non-existent. This is just taking up volume inside the shoe at this point. It's not cushioning much at all anymore. I didn't even get these new. These were from somebody else's boots that I just migrated into these because I was looking for a quick solution and I was too lazy to go shop for more. I think I have a pair somewhere that are still in the packaging, but I didn't want to throw them in a junky looking pair of boots. They might end up in these boots before they end up in some other boots. I don't know. Because yeah, they are not here for anything other than to make the boots tighter on my feet, because again, they're technically half a size big, but unlike some of the other boots, like my toes are way farther forward here than they are on some of the other ones, like these, which I've complained about plenty because those are the right size and they're bananas. They're like super long and skinny, and whereas these are short and squat. And so even though they're a little bit mushy and I got to pull this kind of tight, if I need any toe room going down a half a size, I might be in trouble there. So it's maybe I could get a smaller size in the wider and it would work out. But I tried that with the JK boots and I'm not 100% thrilled because those are the ones I almost wore. And then I thought, well, those don't have any arch support either, or not really significant. I'll go with these. So these have become my default hiking boots instead of the ones that I bought to be hiking boots. Go figure. And they cost way less. So, but like I said, I can't really show any, significant new wear and tear on them from the previous video because there's not any real significant new wear and tear from one day of use. Okay. Like I said, the shorter I make this video, the more likely you are to watch the other one anyway. So, hooray. So we're just trucking through. And again, how often did I wear these? I wore these. I didn't even wear these this week, or maybe I did and forgot to write it down. But I did wear these quite a bit last week. I took a long walk in these twice, or once or twice. And I could have swore I wore them once this week. I don't know. But it's not on the list, so I don't remember. I'll put it with a question mark. But yeah, that's all I have on here is the right. Oh, I think this one or this one, probably this one, is the one that rubbed me a hot spot where I had almost a bleeding scab under my ankle the one day. But like I said, then I switched to these for the hiking. Didn't have a problem except a little rub on the top of my one toe. And then, like I said, wore these again since and didn't have any issue. At least I don't feel anything. The scabby bit seems to have mostly healed. Yeah, they're still there, but not like it was. So I don't know what shoe caused that, but I'm blaming it on the RG response gear tactical black zip side zip, because maybe, but it could also have been from these, I guess, because they are a little bit. I mean, I don't think this is going to do that to me. It's all soft foam. Seems unlikely. So one of these two is the culprit, and I hadn't worn these a ton. Like I said, I wore them for one kind of long walk, but I think I already had that issue before then. But they are a little bit, I don't know if you can see, I mean, there is a potential for a rubbing there on that internal counter. So maybe, but I thought it was the other ones. Once again, the logo gone a long time ago. The discoloration from just usage. I didn't hose these out or anything with water or anything. That's just how they look from rubbing against the socks, I guess. Regular athletic socks. They've got a little bit of scuffage. I don't know if there's, you know, a shoe polish kind of solution that's going to fix that, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I mean, I'm not like super interested in patina, but I'm also not treating them like really expensive boots. Where, you know, they were $200. The fit is decent for the price, I guess, and that's all they are. So I'll still wear these in the summer with outfits and things because of the color. It's a nice light color that goes with a lot of my khaki kind of stuff or whatever. Although how often I'll want to wear boots instead of some other kind of shoe, don't know. Don't know. And again, not going to have a ton of wear in the last 2 weeks to show off to the camera from the previous video, except for, you know, again, some of this kind of scuff damage, which is not intentional. Unintentional scuffing, just branches and things on the pavement in the way. You can see where the heels pronate a little bit. Again, my right leg a tiny bit longer than my left one, but not significant. And no viewers yet whatsoever. Okay, and the laces being decent, but I do double knot them to keep them tied. I forget which one I showed and which one I didn't. I think this was the one I already showed. So whatever you can glean from that, you know, the inner lining is fine. It just along this plastic. The Celastic comes up above of where the other suede bit ends. So like I said, this might have been what was rubbing me. Or that might have been what was rubbing me, one of those two seams. But I don't know that it was this boot at all for sure. And I'm inclined to think it was the other pair still. But, you know, something that could happen. Mostly with the Thursday boots. These didn't do it. But usually when I get a new pair of Thursday boots, it's the heel blisters. I get that heel slippage through here. Maybe from tying them too tight or thinking they're not tight enough or something in there. Some kind of schizoid behavior. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit sweaty. Not too bad for how long we've been going. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, as always, if there's any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. If there's something I'm forgetting to say, nobody's jumped in the queue at all. Nobody's watching, but maybe some of you will trickle in sooner than later. Like I said, I don't know what other kind of challenges I'm going to invent or try to do. I actually came up with some of these challenge things a long time ago, and other people are getting way more views with the idea than I am somehow, but that's fine. Whatever. They, you know, are investing in more expensive footwear, or they're getting cool freebies that you wish you were getting and you're not. So you're watching their, you know, good fortune la-di-da-di-da, but not necessarily sharing in it. But I think any of these are boots that you might still encounter, even if you don't want to admit that you wear them. No, I only wear Nick's heavy duty bloody. Yeah, right. Okay, whatever. Some of you only wear Red Wings or whatever, fine. And again, none of these are proper work boots. That challenge kind of got suspended with the Wolverine versus the da-da-da and all that. So you can go back and watch that kind of thing if you're interested more in that. But of course, I was only using them more casually and doing light chores, you know, chopping down the occasional bush or whatever in the yard, not log jamming on the river or whatever. These laces are too long, though, too, by the way. I had to double, triple thing them. I think I had to switch out the ones that it came with. And so this was what I ended up with. And I really don't like that extra long lace thing, but I didn't want to use up, again, another new good pair, where, you know, eventually maybe these will make it into those, yada, yada, yada. And save these for some other boot if I get some taller ones. I'm kind of in that position where I don't want to order new ones now because I already spent a bunch of money on hats and things. But if I wanted them for autumn, I would have to order them kind of now to give them time to arrive and get built and all that. So I'm kind of on the fence, but I have so many pairs of boots that I haven't really worn yet. So adding another pair to the mix would be kind of gratuitous. Well, somebody came and left. Hello, person, whoever you were. Goodbye, whoever you were. They didn't have any questions, I guess. Well, I think they know that I'm just about done. So as you always know, you can take advantage of the Buy Me a Coffee feature if you're feeling generous and want me to have pizza for the weekend or, new laces or something. Even though I have plenty of laces laying around. And, oh, somebody's back. Hello, somebody, if you're the same person or not, I don't know. You're here in time for the boycott Tinder spiel. Yep, the corrupt, toxic employees and the fraudulent business models and all that. I forgot to mention the Matt Walsh video in the previous episode yesterday, and it doesn't matter. And all that. Oh, they left again. Well, maybe maybe they're a Tinder advocate and think that that's going to find them true love somehow. Yeah, fat chance. Okay, like I said, I'm not a class action lawyer. I just fighting the fight. Maybe they just wanted to see my outfit. Oh, you got here too late. You missed the intro where I tried to show off more of the shirt. Okay, now I'm just being silly because I didn't feel like putting on other clothes.